Welcome back to Church Production. I'm Marcel Patillo, and this video is all about the grandMA Command Wing XT. When simply paired with just a monitor, this thing becomes an all-in-one light controller that could be used for TV studios, streaming studios, theaters, festival stages, and definitely for churches. So we do what we usually do here at Church Production and sent one out to our friend and lighting director at Harvest Christian Fellowship, Nicholas Valdez. But before we get started, give this video a like and let's hear a little bit more about Nicholas and Harvest Fellowship.
My name is Nicholas Valdez. I am the lighting director at Harvest Christian Fellowship in Riverside, California. We're led by Pastor Greg Laurie, famous for the Harvest Crusades. We have a congregation of around 10,000 a week, so we have a couple campuses that we serve, and we do full production every Sunday for a couple services every week.
So what about the unboxing experience? What about the setup time? Does it work with the gear that you have, or will you need extra gear to get this to work with your lighting system? I'll let Nicholas go into that.
So I was the one that actually got to unbox it. I didn't know this was the full on board one that like you could operate it by itself kind of thing. So I was like, okay, let me go get my computer set. And then when I unboxed it, one of the other guys with me, his name's Chris, he actually was like, oh no, it's a full on console by itself. Get a couple screens and it's up and going.
So speed and ease of use are imperative in live production, especially with all the moving parts that are already in motion. And Nicholas expands on this as he tells us about his experience with the software and its capabilities.
I really liked the new 3D program they have. I know MA2 has a really good 3D program, but I mean, this one's just beyond and above what that could be at this point. I basically grab my lights, put them in the thing, and then I can set, if I know my stage dimensions, for instance, if I know it's 40 feet across and I want a spacing of 5 feet every light, I can just set the lights to go -20 to 20, right? So that's 40 feet, and it will automatically space them properly across the whole stage. We actually used the 3D programmer to kind of set up a lot of like what we were going to do for Easter, just to test things out, because it was just faster. Super simple to grab a whole bunch of lights and just lay them out on a X, Y, and Z stasis with all the 3D stuff. So it was great for that kind of stuff.
So while this all does seem pretty helpful, what about Sunday mornings? Because every church on Sunday morning has a pretty unique workflow. So let's hear about how they do things at Harvest Fellowship and how they've managed to implement the Command Wing XT in their workflow.
We have presets made, we don't change key lightings a lot, but a lot of our stuff is we're programming on Sunday, typically. We have about 2 hours before service, the band's going to come in, they're going to do their practice. A lot of times we would just set the lights to blind, but we could still operate it on the 3D programmer. And so then we could practice effects or color changes, or if we want to make sure we get a big hit properly, we're not distracting to them. We don't have a bunch of people in the audience like trying to set up or get ready for church, like, hey, it's too bright in here. But we were able to do a lot of stuff where it's like we're practicing and we're setting up our show just from the comfort of sitting at the desk without having to worry about anybody else. Just really simple program like that.
So gear, of course, can be expensive, and getting the wrong gear and then realizing maybe we should have got some different gear can be really expensive. So lastly, I had to ask Nicholas, what kind of church is the Command Wing XT for?
There's a lot of churches out there that they just, hey, for this song, we're going to do the color blue. Maybe you don't need something like this. You need something super simple. But, for a church that wants the decision to be able to go, hey, for this song, we want to be able to do a whole bunch of stuff that can reflect what we're doing worship-wise, and also what we as a church feel like our ministry should be doing. The Command Wing is something, totally look for that. It's a really good sized console. It's not like the biggest console in the world, but you get everything you would want out of a console. You get all the mechanical faders, that is great. You get all the button inputs. You get the wheels with it, which is honestly perfect for what you would need for something like this. You get the Grandmaster and everything. Again, the ability to customize the screens, right now we have it in a 3-screen configuration, but if we wanted to, we could bring it down to 1 or 2 depending on what kind of room we need for it or what we're looking to do with it. So yeah, for its size, the Command Wing is honestly perfect.
So of course, a big thank you to Nicholas Valdez and the whole team at Harvest Fellowship Church for taking the time to swap out some gear and really give us your insights on the grandMA Command Wing XT, what you thought about this piece of gear and what other churches should think about when looking at this. And as always, make sure to subscribe to the Church Production YouTube channel if you like videos on church production gear, audio and video alike. And make sure to go to the churchproduction.com website for more articles and insights on church production gear. And of course, guys, I'm Marcel Patillo, and I'll see y'all next time.